Does it look like, can you tell that I don't really care right now? It's like 2 days after Christmas and I'm just very tired. Hey folks, my name is Jen. I am here today to do a bit of a book haul. If you see any change in lighting towards the end of this video, or maybe I look a little less exhausted, that might be because I have added more books. So I've added more to the video, but we'll see what happens. Basically, the books that I have right here are a combined haul from November and December. I'm a November baby, so I have some books which I received for my birthday, and then I have some books that I received for Christmas, and likewise I have books that I purchased with money that I received, like gift cards that I received for my birthday. And why I say there's like, if there's any difference in lighting or anything, is because I have not gone shopping yet with like gift cards or whatever that I received for Christmas, but I am planning a trip to Barnes & Noble possibly with my bestie in January, like at some point, so I'll probably be like including that, possibly, maybe. Okay, let's just, here we go. So first up, we have a couple of books that I received for my birthday. A couple of those were by Stephen King, the first of which is The Outsider. So this one sounds like maybe it'll be a little tough. An 11-year-old boy has been found brutally murdered, and immediately the prime suspect is a local coach. I think he's a Little League coach. Yes. He's a Little League coach, he's a teacher, usual upstanding member of the community, and it's like a shock to everyone when the lead detective orders a public arrest of this man. Everyone is just reeling, first of all, from the terrible crime, second of all, from the fact that this could be someone who, as I said, is such an upstanding member of the community. Is everyone wrong? Is he really innocent of this crime, or is there something possibly evil that lurks within him, has a monster been amongst them all without them realizing it before now? So it's possible that parts of this are going to be kind of rough because it does involve like child murder, but I think it's also going to be an interesting take on like monsters and like, you know, is there a monster in people that we don't even realize or anything? I don't know. This also takes place in Oklahoma, which is a little bit of a different setting for King since he is normally in Maine or just New England for most of his stories. So I think this will be really interesting. I do know that there's like a series now involving this, but I would probably want to read this before I go check that out. The other Stephen King I received is his latest release, which is called Billy Summers. This is following a man. Billy Summers, he is an assassin for hire, pretty much, but his rules are that he will only kill literally bad people. He considers himself to be humanity's trash man. He demands that the people who he goes out and fulfills the hit on be truly terrible human beings that are not going to be punished otherwise. And so he decides that this job that he is going out on is going to be like his last one. He is retiring, and everything in the job goes horribly, horribly wrong. I don't really know much about it beyond that. Just that it seems like he might be teaming up with someone, and it involves a road trip across America and potentially taking out an evil, evil man. So that sounds pretty fascinating to me. I don't really read a lot about like assassins for hire and things like that, but this one sounds kind of compelling. It almost reminds me of like Dexter in a way, where he's clearly not really a good guy, but he is taking out the bad guys, so it's like a gray area kind of character. So I think it will be really cool and interesting. Then I also received, first up, the Sea Hunters and the Sea Hunters Volume 2, and these are both by Clive Cussler and Craig Durgo. These are non-fiction books from Clive Cussler. He is known for his books like the Numa Files, the Oregon Files, Dirk Pitt. That's I think his most famous series, and it's a series that I really enjoy reading. This is basically his true adventures with famous shipwrecks, and this is volume 2, so that like also goes into more of their adventures. Clive Cussler actually got involved in diving and trying to find famous shipwrecks and documenting them, and started his own company, basically like a non-profit, and they ended up naming it after, they named it Numa after the fictional organization that his hero Dirk Pitt works for. And basically they have found all kinds of famous shipwrecks, from famous submarine from the Civil War to just varying wrecks, and this is basically documenting their adventures in finding these, and it's pretty fascinating. I believe I have read this several years ago, but I have never read the second one, so I was really happy to be able to have both of these, because I really do love his writing, and I'm really excited to read some of his nonfiction. Then we have, well, first off, we have a couple of random ones. One of the random ones is actually a book that I pre-ordered months and months and months ago. I might have mentioned it in another video or not. I can't remember anymore, guys. Like, I'm so tired. But it's volume 1 of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. I am so sorry. I love your art so much. I don't know which way you pronounce your name. I am terribly sorry about that. This is a pretty famous webcomic on Webtoon. It is a modern-ish retelling of the Hades and Persephone myth, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. First of all, the story. There's some tough things in here. There's definitely some trigger warnings for sexual abuse, and I think there's also some violence warnings, or like addiction possibly at some point. There's a lot going on in this story, and the artwork itself is just absolutely fucking gorgeous, and I just really love it. Let me show you something without spoiling anything. Like, look at that. Like, it's just so beautiful. So I'm really glad to have this copy. I have read way far ahead than what is in here. But, you know, I wanted to support the artist because I just really love her webcomic, and I also just wanted to own a physical copy. So it's a little easier for me to reread this story rather than having to, like, scroll through everything and hurt my eyes and stuff. But, yeah, anyway, this is awesome. I don't know, like a week or so ago, I was hanging out at CVS because I had just gotten my booster, and I was just doing the 15 minutes, even though the lady said, oh, you don't have to wait around, but, you know, I felt like waiting around just in case. So I was just hanging out, and I couldn't help myself. I ended up hanging out by the books and buying a couple, of course. First of which was A Forever Kind of Love by Norah Roberts. This is a bind-up of Waiting for Nick and Considering Kate. They're part of a series, the Stanislavski Dynasty, which I have never heard of before and haven't read any of these, so, but it looked like it was going to be kind of wintry, so I was down for that because I haven't, like, the last Christmas romance that I read, I DNF'd last year in December, and I was highly disappointed with it. I was, like, really disappointed with it. I unhauled it this year. So I was just looking for something like that, but it honestly isn't that wintry and Christmassy, so the cover was a little bit misleading, but I mean, it's not terrible, so it's whatever. And I also ended up getting Hidden by Fern. This is a mystery. It's apparently going to be part of a series. It's about a brother and sister, Cullen and Luna Bodman. So they end up starting, it's like a furniture restoration shop slash cafe. So they are just, it's like an offshoot of an antique shop that their family already owns. And apparently Luna has like some kind of version of ESP. It sounds from what is in here and the little bit that I flipped through and looked at that she potentially has psychometry, which is like a type of perception where you can like touch a physical object and get a sense about its history, previous owners, what's happened with it, around it, who's touched it, like that kind of thing. So it sounds like Luna kind of has that, which is interesting for an antiques dealer, furniture restorationist, so that's fun. Cullen comes back to the shop with a newly acquired piece, and Luna gets a sense about it, and it seems like there is a mystery, like an underlying mystery attached to this item, and is potentially going to cause trouble for the siblings and potentially put them in the path of danger. I have never read Fern before, so I wasn't 100% sure what to expect. But I did flip through like the first couple of chapters and looked at it a little bit, and it does seem like it's potentially going to be interesting. I like anytime like an interesting ESP type ability is involved in like mystery novels specifically. It's like a trope that I find fascinating, so I was willing to give this a try, so we'll see how this turns out. Then I have books that I purchased with the gift cards that I received for my birthday, which is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, and this is by Kwame Mbalia. I'm sorry, I swear by the time I'm actually like reading this on like a TBR or like a wrap up, I will know how to pronounce this author's name. I apologize. It is dealing with apparently Black American gods, John Henry and Brer Rabbit. I vaguely know who Brer Rabbit is. I have read Aesop's Fables, but it's been like years. Like years and years. But John Henry, I'm pretty sure, was a guy who built the railroads, and he's like the strongest man, and he raced a train or raced a machine to build a railroad for a train. I might be mixing my legends up, but I'm almost 100% sure that's who this is. So Tristan Strong is a 7th grader who is having a hard time right now. His best friend died recently, and the only thing left of his friend is this journal, which the journal has been strangely glowing since he was given it by his friend's mother. They were in this, his friend was killed in a bus accident, which they were both in, and Tristan feels pretty upset that he survived. He's kind of dealing with survivor's guilt. He feels like he probably should have been able to save or protect his friend. He is being sent to Alabama to stay with his grandparents for a while to try to heal from this traumatic tragedy. While there, though, this creature shows up and steals his friend's journal and takes off with it, and Tristan chases after this creature to get the journal back. While he is trying to get the journal back, in the ensuing struggle, he accidentally punches a tree, and apparently, in the process of punching this tree, opens up a portal to this land. It's called Mid-Pass, which it says is a volatile place with a burning sea, haunted bone ships, and iron monsters that are hunting the inhabitants of this strange world. And Tristan must work together with Black American gods like John Henry and Brer Rabbit. So it seems like he's going to have to get together with these allies and try to convince the trickster god Anansi to basically help him heal the hole that he has punched in the sky. I'm a little nervous about this book just because it involves Anansi the Weaver, which I just remember little bits about the stories of Anansi, because I believe we covered them in elementary school, and it's a spider, and I have arachnophobia, so I'm a little nervous about possible descriptions of a giant creepy spider in this book. But other than that part, this sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome. I know this is like a new series because I think the second book, or maybe even the third book, but I think it's just the second book is out now. It does sound super awesome, and I am really looking forward to reading this, while also being nervous about, the potential of a giant spider involved. Yeah. Then I also grabbed Rick Riordan's latest book, which is Daughter of the Deep. So this sounds really fascinating. This is basically Rick Riordan's take on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Full disclosure, I have not read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea yet. It is on my book list somewhere, wherever I put it. Oh, here it is, right here. It's on my TBR shelf. So I will most likely, in cases like playing off of things, I will most likely read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea first before I pick this up, just in case there's like weird spoilers of any kind. Although this sounds like it's going to be very different than that, but just in case. Yeah, like I said, this is his take on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is following a young girl named Anna. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, Dakar. She is going to the Harding Pencroft Academy, which is a school that basically is for future scientists, specifically marine scientists, as well as naval warriors, navigators, explorers, etc. Anna's parents died several years ago while they were on a scientific mission. And basically the only family member that she has left is her older brother, whose name is Dev. And he's also a student at the school. There's like a lot going on though in this, as her and her classmates who are on like I think it's their final. Yeah, they have a weekend trial at sea. This sounds like a crazy school to be a part of. At the end of her freshman year, there is a weekend trial at sea, and while her and her classmates witness this tragedy, there's a lot of underlying shit going down with the rival school as well. It sounds like it's going to be pretty bananas overall, but I think it's also going to be really cool. Another interesting thing, which I suppose is not going to be very exciting for anyone unless you are interested in maritime history and stuff like that. But so there's a couple of praise quotes on the back, and one is from Ashani Chakshi and the other is from Dr. Robert Ballard, who says that this took him back 67 years to when I dreamed of becoming Captain Nemo. May all the young minds reading this book dream about the world beneath the sea and then make their dreams come true, just like I did. Says, by Dr. Robert Ballard from aboard his ship of exploration, the EV Nautilus. Nautilus was like Captain Nemo's boat in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So there's that. But also, Dr. Robert Ballard is one of the teams that went down and discovered the Titanic. So, just the fact that he blurbed this is just making me freak out just a little bit. Because, I mean, I'm not like a major Titanic nerd, but my dad is, and I've grown up hearing about Robert Ballard and just all about stuff like that. So just to have him blurb this book and have it be like, I don't know, it's just a little something extra crazy for me. I'm looking forward to reading this, but yeah, I probably will read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea before this, or maybe I'll put them on the same month TBR or something, but yeah, looks really cool. The next book that I picked up was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Cloon. Everybody knows what this book is about. It's an adult fantasy novel. It is following Linus, who is a caseworker. He's a caseworker for the Department of Magical Youth? Department in charge of magical youth. Basically, he is responsible for making sure that kids that have magic powers are not a danger to themselves and to others, making sure that they're in great housing situations with people who can control them or teach them to control themselves, I guess. He gets sent to the house in the Cerulean Sea to investigate a lot of kids there, as some of the world's most dangerous magical youth are being fostered in this house. And there, Linus basically runs into the man who is the foster father to all of these kids. The guy's name is Arthur Panassus. It sounds like there's like a budding romance. Linus, there's a lot of like cute kids. I think possibly one of the kids might be the Antichrist. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard a lot of good things about this. It sounds like it's going to be really interesting and particularly heartwarming, so excited to read it. And then the last book that I grabbed with my birthday money is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. I know nothing about this, other than it's the fourth in the Truly Devious series. Did not realize there was going to be a fourth in the Truly Devious series. But this is following Stevie Bell again. She is at a summer camp, and there's mystery at the summer camp involving a box in the woods. So I'm jazzed because I like the other three books. I do have to say I'm a little bit nervous about it, just because once a series has kind of come to a completion and there's like an extra thing, sometimes it lets me down a little bit. So I'm honestly a little bit nervous, but at the same time, like I said, I really loved the other three books, and I really like her writing style, so I'm hoping that this is going to be as fast-paced and interesting as the other books. So remember what I said about lighting? Yeah. So this is Future Jen, who is currently editing my book haul video, and realizing two things. One, I can't properly edit this without things seeming weird, so I figured that I would just add something in right here about like more books. There will most likely be another book haul at some point in the future, but I think that's going to be in February. I was going to go out with gift cards I received for Christmas to get a couple of more books on a trip with one of my best friends, but We have now rescheduled that to February, and I don't want to wait that long to post this video, so I'm just going to post it, and you'll have another book haul to look forward to in like February or whatever, whenever we go and I eventually post it. So that's something. The second thing was that I realized I missed a book when I was talking about things. And I can't believe I missed it because, I mean, I just read it, but I think I had put it away at that point, so I wasn't like, you know, fully remembering that I had this as well. But it is another book that I ended up ordering on the random just because I really had been wanting it, and then I just was like, well, you know what, this is a birthday present to myself, basically. And that was Helium by Rudy Francisco. This is actually his debut poetry collection. I hauled his most recent one, I'll Fly Away, last November, I think, or December, and I read it in January and loved it, and it's one of the best books that I read this year. So I definitely wanted to get his debut poetry collection, and so I did, and it's just as amazing, and you'll hear about it in my December wrap-up, but yeah, I just wanted to definitely include it here now. Okay, back to Past Gen. Then we get into books that I received for Christmas. So I have some books and I have a bookish thing. My books that I received, so I got the Sabbat Essentials by Lou Ellen. So I already have Samhain. I showed it in my October wrap-up. I got it several months ago, and I read that, but I didn't have the other books, so I received the rest of them. So I have Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Midsummer, Lunasa, and Mabon. These are just like guides to more information. It gives you like things about the old ways of celebrating things. Also gives you like activities you can do, rituals you can do, different kinds of fun things, recipes and stuff like that. There's a recipe for wassail in here, which I'm interested in trying for like New Year's. Yeah, they're cute, great guys, really in depth. I'm very excited to have all of them now. And the last thing I have is a bookish thing, not a book, but a bookish thing. So I received, because I asked for one, but I got a Moleskin Journal. It's so beautiful. I'm very excited about it. It smells really good. But yeah, I'm very excited about this because these are great journals. And I'm really excited to have another journal to write in. But that is my book haul, basically. If there's anything else, I'll try to add it in after here. So, future me, take it away. A magnetic bookmark that's so cute. And can you guess what this is? Because it took me a minute. It's a writer's block. This is great. Okay, so, hey, it's Jen of later. I had said in like my haul video that I might have more things to like share, but I do have some more things that I received for Christmas that aren't like books, but they're like bookish things, so I thought I would also share those as well. One of those is this cool journal. It's called The Story of My Life, and it's like basically your stories. You can write them, and they have like prompts, which are like the scariest thing that ever happened to me was, and go into detail. What college did you go to? Why did you choose it? Talk about why you didn't if you didn't go to college. How did you react to being away from home in college? Describe a time when your attempt to help someone only made things worse. Top 10 vacations. It's got just like a bunch of different things. They have like a retrospective. It's just like a bunch of stories of your life pretty much that you can like write down, which I thought was really cool. And then one of my friends also made me a couple of ornaments. I'll show you. So one is it's Perlock Homes. Isn't that cute? The game is afoot. This one, I love, this is great. It's Hercule Poirot, and it has quotes about him. And then Miss Marpaw, and it has quotes about her too. I love it. It's so cute. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I just wanted to share those as well. Thank you for indulging me.